Good morning, dear students. Today we will revise chapter 12, Air and Water. All of you know our planet Earth is surrounded by an invisible blanket of air which is called atmosphere. And this air is a mixture of gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and other gases are also there in the atmosphere, in the air. As you can see the diagram of components of air, you can see the maximum part of the air has nitrogen, that is 78%, means the abundant gas present in the atmosphere is the nitrogen, and then we have 21% of oxygen, and the remaining 1% has other gases like carbon dioxide, argon, and water vapor, dust particles. All these come under this 1% of the atmosphere. We read what is nitrogen used for. As you read in the previous class, nitrogen is used by plants, and plants like peas and beans convert this atmospheric nitrogen to a useful form in their roots, and from there other plants are benefited. Nitrogen is also used to make fertilizers. It is also used to keep packaged foods fresh, and liquid nitrogen is used in laboratories, blood banks, and food storage units to keep items frozen. Oxygen, which is 21% present in the atmosphere, has made life possible on the earth because it is the oxygen which is present in the atmosphere and which is used by all the living creatures present on the earth. Oxygen is also needed for burning. For this we had performed an activity in which one of the burning candle goes off when it is placed under an empty jar, because the supply of oxygen is cut off and the candle goes off, which proves that oxygen is required for burning. If oxygen is required for burning, what controls the fire? The nitrogen controls the fire. So had there been no nitrogen in the atmosphere, the fire would never have been able to be controlled. We also have carbon dioxide, and this gas is used by all the green plants to make their food, and also it has a major role in trapping sun's heat and keeping the earth's atmosphere suitably warm. But because we are burning lots of fossil fuels, it is releasing more of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which is not good. It is trapping more and more heat, which is raising the temperature of the earth. We also have water vapor. Now this water vapor comes to the atmosphere because of the evaporation of water bodies present on the surface of the earth. In other gases we have argon, methane, nitrous oxide, sulfur dioxide, smoke and dust particles are also present in the atmosphere. Now what is the importance of the atmosphere? The atmosphere has got different layers, as you can see in the diagram. We have the lowest layer in which we live and all the living creatures live. We have the troposphere. Above the troposphere we have the stratosphere, then the mesosphere, thermosphere, and then the outermost layer is the exosphere, which merges with the space. We discussed the importance of each layer in this chapter. Moving further, we also read about the properties of air. What properties does the air have? Air occupies a space and exerts pressure, and air has mass. After this, we read about water. All of you know 70% of the earth's surface is covered by water. And what are the different properties of water? It is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless liquid, and it exists in all the three forms of matter. Like when it is snow and ice, it is present in the form of solid. When it is in rivers, ocean, it is present in liquid form. And In gaseous form, it is present in the form of water vapor and steam. Water is also called a universal solvent because it can dissolve many things into it. No other liquid can dissolve as many things as water can. And the substances which dissolve completely into the water are called soluble substances, like for example sugar and salt. They get dissolved in water completely, so these are soluble substances. But the substances like sand, if you take mustard seeds, they will never dissolve in water, so these substances are called insoluble substances. We also read about how we can purify water. There are different methods of removing insoluble impurities from water and soluble impurities from water. For removing insoluble impurities from water, we have the process, different methods like sedimentation, decantation and filtration. This diagram explains you the process of sedimentation and decantation. When the sand particles or when the insoluble impurities, they settle down at the bottom of the container, leaving the top layer clean, is called sedimentation. And when this clean water is gently poured into another container without disturbing the sediments, is called decantation. And when activity 7 proves explains you the process of filtration. Water is filtered through passing through a cotton cloth, and with a filter, when we filter water, this process is called filtration. For removing soluble impurities and germs from water, what processes do we adopt? We adopt boiling, chlorination. And how can we make water fit for drinking? By boiling water for 15 to 20 minutes. And nowadays we use a number of filters and water filters like reverse osmosis are used nowadays for filtering the water. The water that is supplied to our houses goes through the methods of sedimentation, filtration and chlorination before they are supplied to our houses. We also read about the distilled water, which is the purest form of water. How is it formed? We can get distilled water. At first the water is boiled, and when this evaporation, the evaporated water is cooled, which is the condensation, it turns back into liquid form, which is the purest form of water, and this water is called the distilled water, and the whole process is known as distillation. This process occurs in nature. The dew drops which are seen on the leaves of plants early in the morning are an example of distilled water. And when you boil water in a container and when you put a lid over the evaporated water vapor, what happens? You can see the water droplets on the lid. What are those? Those are the distilled water. I hope this chapter is now clear to you. Please go through this video once again and also go through the previous videos of this chapter. Do the question answer that has been sent in the group, and please be honest towards your work. Thank you and have a good day. All the best for your examination.